Okay, welcome to another episode of Anecdotes. This one is about panels. In different, if we talk about panels, it's very broad. But if we are going to narrow it down to specifically things panels can do, because panels in Dota 2. How do you break this down easily? Because there's a lot of different panels, and normally it depends on the setting and the host how different a panel is. For example, you got Dream League doing it very different with having like a talk show. You got ESL having those are the two extreme ones, right? You got your Dream League and ESL that are on two ends of the spectrum, and everything else is kind of in between. With ESL being the super professional / according to some,
boring.
a little stiff. I was going to say stiff. I thought that was more polite. What do you think about panels if you were to break it down? Because we wrote down specifically things panels could do as a topic.
I think to frame it, I would state for the record, I think esports shows are some of the hardest to do right because A, you're live the whole time, which is something unheard of in entertainment, okay? We're talking about 12 hours of consecutive broadcast. Yeah, there's some ad breaks, but still, like, that's kind of crazy. And you're trying to have a entertaining show. I think that's rule number one. Is it's got to be fun. You've got to enjoy watching it. And a lot of people just love the Dota. Sometimes the Dota sucks. Sometimes the games are too long. Sometimes they're too short. How do you find a balance between the memes and insight analysts, whatever it is that they pay me to do most of the time?
I think when you're looking at panels, the first step you gotta take is looking at your audience. And indeed, for some people, they just want to hear ex-pros or analysts nerd out about intricate Dota 2 mechanics. But if you look at those people in the grand scheme of people watching, that's not going to be the majority. But it is a vocal minority.
There are a lot of people that would, if you brought back like the old school, like the TI4 hub, right? The TI4 EU hub. Let's say you had a James host with Bruno and Shane and I don't know, a palm reader, right? There's some people that would die.
I would love that, but
there'd be people that are like, what in the hell is this?
Yes.
Where's my serious Dota content?
Why did nobody talk about the fact that this player had played that hero a certain amount of time with that amount of success?
Some people love, it's polarizing, right? Some people hate me. Some people love me. No one really hates Sheeves. It's kind of unfair. But that's something I have to live with.
Some people don't hate me, but there are people who prefer other casters, other hosts over me. There are some people that prefer me over other hosts. But it's normal. If that wasn't the case, people wouldn't care. And people not caring is even worse. But, people care about what they're watching. People care about watching Dota 2 and being entertained. And I think if you're talking from a show perspective, you want to have a show that incorporates a little bit of everything, which is very difficult to do.
For sure. I try and be, like, because I watched broadcasts a ton, right? I had my whole life. But I try to be, like, the Dota person. I try to be the person I would want to watch were I at home watching myself do talent stuff.
Yes.
And the difficulty is always, like, finding a balance because no one wants to... I hate doing what feels like fill. And if there were one thing I would excise from tournaments, it would be boring conversations. When... like, you can break down a game, but you can't break down a game for that extra 10 minutes. You got to switch it up.
It depends on the game.
Sure, but pre-show, pre-game stuff particularly. If you have a delay on a series and you've already prepped it, what the hell are we talking about now? We're going to go into, like, mind control and whether we think he likes potatoes? Like, what are we going to say? I'd rather just get to a game, like, literally a fun game, like... We were supposed to give ideas, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So if you use my IP, please make sure you also invite me. But like, literally have filler games, okay? Something the CSGO guys did that I loved was they would have a hat. And if it like ran over, you just like pick a team from a hat or pick a player. And you've got to be their number...
Don't hit the sound thing.
Oh, whoops.
You're fine.
You got to be their #1 fan, an advocate, and you fight someone else in like 30-second
All right, so you pick something from a hat. It's like, hey, you're now going to say why Nip is better, and I'm going to say why Vega is better.
And then Gran gets EG. And like maybe there's costumes. Like... I'm just spitballing here. But it just fun, interactive, constantly changing. The same way you throw a good party, you throw a good broadcast.
Now the thing comes when you have this panel. Let's say it's 4-person panel, and there needs to be 10-minute fail.
Mm-hmm.
Is there at some point the host that goes, okay, guys, now we're gonna do this, or is a Shane or a Sack and Slacks or something like that gonna go like, wait a second, we've got fill time, and then go in and be the showmaster of the break fill thing?
That would be great. I'd be down for that. Cut to I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. You can do whatever. I'm really not sure. I'm kind of talking out of my ass here.
Because I feel like those types of fill, because people will realize it's fill, especially when the host is doing it, people will realize it's fill, and people like complaining, so they're going to complain about that. Mm-hmm. Something that I like that PGL does, which by now I recognize it easily as it being fill, and I'm sure other people do as well, but it's entertaining and it looks like it's intentional anyway, community questions, where there's like, hey, we got a moment to talk about these community questions. Finally, we have some time for you guys, because, we tried to plan it in, but it's so difficult, and finally we have some time. Instead of saying, well, we got to kill some time, we're going to answer some of your questions because we can't come up with stuff, and we're going to have you provide content for us. Because that's basically what's happening, right?
Yeah.
But they spin it as if it's like, yes, community question time. And I think that is inherently, if you're talking about silly games, if the host would lead it as well, it would be seen as filler games. However, if you have an extra person on site, doesn't it even have to be, well, it could be me, it could be Kyle, but it doesn't even have to be an extra person that is normally on camera for fluff stuff. Like it doesn't have to be a Shane, it doesn't have to be a Sir Actions, like it could literally just be a commentator that is going to lead this game.
Yeah.
As long as it's like branded as something different, then it doesn't feel like Phil. And
well, and there's cool things like PGL did a couple really cool things. They like Ziori host a little in between podcast.
I did like that a lot with Ziori, the Excel.
I liked the
KL Excel.
I liked the questions. I liked what else they did. We did something else. I can't remember. Yeah, I liked what ESL did a couple things. Like I like when events bring their sponsorships into something more interactive, like the Mercedes MVP. You win one. The DHL clip with Sir Action Slacks. There was like an hour-long break in between finals, so they put me, JJ, and Sir Action Slacks. Ari had a mic in the crowd, and that was completely just Phil. Like we were just like, well, these teams are taking longer than they wanted, like an extra 30 minutes, and we're like, well,
you
shit,
gotta
okay,
do something.
Yeah, and so you did stuff, and I guess that's what it comes down to. We just do something, do something different. And whatever that may be, TI did a whole bunch of different content and gags.
There was so
The
much content.
night show.
I love the night show.
I would love a pre-show or like a post-game show. Like the late game is a great. You
gotta have the setting and the people for it though, because it can't be the same people that has been on panel the whole time, because then you're literally repeating what is said the whole day. So I really like that that DJ Wheat and Flax were combined there, because they had a different view on everything. And they are not going to linger anywhere. They were talking about everything and anything, and it was really good. One thing that I also liked was that there was like that hour-long break in between lower bracket finals and grand finals at TI. Content was prepared before the event started. Machine and Jack sat down with TI winners and asked them about TI and the grand finals, and it wasn't actually TI winners; it was just grand finalists of a TI. And I really liked that was basically preparing for delay. And obviously fluff is in a way, like the fluff content is in a way preparing for delay, but this was, I don't know, this was more seriously done.
Yeah, like the thing is, part of what makes it so hard and why I will always have respect for event organizers is because you have to put on a show for an incredibly frustrating community at times. You really do not cut people any slack. But like there was the PGL event we just played in KL. There was a moment where I believe the internet provider, for that area of Malaysia, shut down.
Yep.
We've had power outages on the district. There's literally nothing you can do.
You cannot do anything about that.
And it's like your stream might have gone down, or now there's a delay, or there's 20 minutes. Like you can't plan for every contingency.
You know what? Now that I think back on that moment when the internet did drop out in the entire area, everybody stayed so calm. They're like, talking about compartmentalized, they could let go.
Yeah.
They could just say, okay, you know what? Out of our hands, We're just gonna hope it comes back on soon. You know, they did tweet. They tweeted it out. They made sure that they got some information out there to let us know what's going on.
And, real quick, like we're talking about, like, you know, what are you gonna do to make panels? But like a lot of us like don't really know. We're down. I'm personally down to try anything. I'll get in a suit. I'll get in a costume.
I think
more
anyway.
pillows and comfortable settings could be a nice change.
I do like the comfortable settings a lot, actually.
Yes, I think that is a big deal. I've sat in way too many really uncomfortable bar stools behind a desk that give me back pain. But to you, the viewer or the listener, I would say if you have any cool ideas, like tweet at the orgs, tweet at the people, because honestly, we're pretty much game for whatever. It's just hard. Everyone's trying to do something different, but also give everybody what they want, appeal to the masses, not just the hardcore fans or the ones that want memes.
It's difficult. As a host, obviously, I have a little bit of a different view on some things, because often the person that sets the tone of a panel is the host, right? But there's only so much that can be done. And those games, you know, I can say like, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea that? But the tournament organizers has got to want it, and it's got to give the freedom. Because some tournament organizers, they hire a host, they know exactly in which role this host needs to be in, and how this host needs to act, and what type of panel, how serious it has to be. And some just give a lot more freedom. For example, Dream League gives a lot of freedom, like, hey, what do you want to talk about?
Yep.
I think most hosts have a list of things. Like if you're talking about Phil, coming back to Phil, because that's basically where panels differ a lot. I think most hosts have a list of topics that they can talk about during Phil. I think if you replace that with having someone on standby with some games, that might be a nice solution to something. But at the same time, everybody's got to be down.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna know it's gonna come, and because if someone's not playing ball, it's gonna be seen as, oh, it's cringy.
Yeah.
And then,
and I think the one that understands that best, and I actually had conversations with both of them, Casey and Slacks at TI, are literally walking the tightrope between cringe and hilarity.
Yes.
And sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. I love Jake or Sir Action Slacks for that, because he'll watch a piece air, hoping it does good. He'll be like, well, we did it, and like move on.
Move on.
If he did, it doesn't matter. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just the same players want to be the best. The people working the shows want to put out a good product. They want to entertain. They want to sound reasonably intelligent about the game.
But that's that's a pitfall, right? Yeah. Because everybody, it's the same as with teams. Everybody is a competitor of each other when they're not at an event, and you want to come off good so that you'll get hired for another one. So you don't want to look stupid. So you don't want to put yourself out there too much, because out of fear, like, oh, what if I say something dumb, or if I'm perceived as dumb? If I'm playing this game, people are gonna think I'm silly, so I'm gonna just talk Dota only all the time.
I mean, that I can see. My thing is, there's no better feeling in my eyes than when you get to make people laugh, and I especially like when I can be the joke, because it means nobody gets hurt. So it's like it's pure fun, right? Like, because I just don't care, right?
No, but that is good.
Yeah, it is? Okay, good.
Well, because, for example, over the last year, I noticed that I myself started caring less about that, and I actually think that I'm a better host because of it. Yeah. Because I care more about how the whole show looks and how everybody else comes out, rather than making myself look good and asking intelligent questions.
Yeah, what I had to get used to is like I still talk way too damn much, right? And there are times on panel like you have a point and you have another point and the point that's linked to it, and you need to stop 15 seconds in, because one, you might not have such a smart opinion as you think. Two, you don't want to talk so damn much. And three, you need to give other people, it needs to be a back and forth.
Yep.
That is the essence of what I would say like a good viewing experience is. You need some sort of conflict. You need a dialogue. It can't just be, so, what's your opinion? I see. Well, what is your opinion then? Uh-oh, interesting. And then over here, what would you like to say? You agree. Unbelievable. Now, what do you feel about this? Like, I just don't care anymore. My brain is shut down.
Then there's other things about how, this is a whole different topic actually, so we're going to save this for another time, but just as a teaser, it would be how much can a panel shit on a player? How critical are panels allowed to be?
That the thing is, it's going to be dependent on what the community. One, how many fans does he have? That's number one, most important.
Yeah.
Eternal Envy played like garbage at the major in Sweden, but God forbid you say, the minor. It was the minor qualifier when he was playing with Complexity. He was terrible. His Earth Spirit was so bad, we were like, it was funny, okay? But God forbid you say anything, you will get people messaging you, and there will still be people somehow saying it's not his fault and it's the team.
Yeah, there's, and you know, on top of that, sometimes there's players that tune into a broadcast and they hear something, it's like, well, you weren't in that situation, you don't know how hard it is, and it's that's a different topic though. Final words on things that can be done on a panel, especially for Phil. We can get more creative, and I think it is also time for, not for every organizer, because a lot do it already, but for tournament organizers to sometimes open up the dialogue with the whole panel a little bit more, rather than just letting them fall into the same comfort zone. Just at a meeting, say, hey, we want to do something special with Phil. Does anybody have any ideas? And get everybody on board, rather than just, I mean, for example, just the host. Just make everybody understand that it's one show.
Here's an idea.
Okay.
And yes, I agree with you completely.
You got limited time.
Final idea.
Yeah.
So you got a 4-man panel, right? Oh, we need time to film. Boom. Teams. Red versus blue. Twitch chat, because we want community interactive.
Sure.
Votes. Fast. Spitballing topics like fastballs, right? 30 to 60 seconds tops for discussion.
What is it, like a discussion?
Yeah, it's like me and you, or no, it's you and Owen, and then it's me and Grant, right? And you're trying to say, will EG be top 3? And you draw, we're like, oh, we're no, shit.
Okay.
You're yes. And then the chat votes and we control the tide, and the winner gets a pillow.
All right, we're going to find out if we can make that happen in one of the upcoming tournaments. We'll find out if people like the ideas or not. If you guys have any ideas, let us know, let tournament organizers know, and we'll see what we can do. But we'll see you next, you'll hear us next AnecDotes. Bye-bye.